I have covered this. I've shown you conversations in which I've proven this, where I'm calling friends of different backgrounds monkey, and you guys took my use of the word monkey and you turned it racist. But if you look at, conversations I have proven to you where I'm calling friends of all different backgrounds monkey. I called nearly every boyfriend I had monkey, and I call my cat monkey. Monkey. And there's something phonetically fun about it, because you smile when you say it. But on top of that, I think we're all monkeys. We're little hairless apes. So anyway, then you guys, of course, took something innocuous and turned it into something dangerous. But if we are going to go that route, I do need to address, well, where's the heritage, and where in history have we seen people use the term ape or monkey in a racist way? And though I am only 12% Irish, it is in my heritage, and it's been in my lineage for a long time. And as you guys have kind of come to find out about me, I adore the Irish. And so if you look at, there is a link between the way that the Irish have been treated and the way that Africans have been treated, and this dehumanizing tactic of using ape or monkey to describe them both. And if you look at it, and I can show you art from the turn of the century, but if you look at the cartooning of both parties, they're really, really, really similar, and they depict them both to have like sort of kind of Neanderthal, like ape-ish characteristics. And for the Irish in particular, it's like the drunken buffoons. They just give them not very nice characteristics, and this is how they're displayed and by white people, in the turn of the century. So again, it's not. There is a difference between whitey and white people, and it kind of needs to be recognized. Just because you're Caucasian does not mean you're considered white. And if in the Irish, though they are more pale in complexion, were not actually considered white, just in the turn of the century. This kind of blows people's minds. How can that be? Aren't all white people the same? No, they were not considered equal. They were considered on the same rungs of the Africans, and I can show you a picture where it's a scale. It's the Irishman and the African, and they're exactly equal. And this is from the turn of the century, and and the Chinese. They were just, everybody was put into this lower category. You can think of Titanic, for example, the movie, and they're literally lower. But and this has to do with them being working class a lot of time. Looking at the history of them being very much hardworking people of the land. It has to do with Catholicism being, in my opinion, the most impassioned of all the Christian forms of religion, and whatever is viewed as passionate is viewed as emotional or hysterical, and therefore feminine, and therefore lesser. And it is exactly for that of all the Christian forms, I admire it the most, or I have reverence for that form the most, because it is so beautifully impassioned. But it also has to do with outlying characteristics that other white people don't share, like beautiful red hair or freckles or being so pale, ironically. So, the treatment of the Irish has been throughout history very actually similar to the treatment of the African American, although now it's blended to where I think it's hard, it's not so obvious to people, and it's gotten blended to where they're considered white now. But realize that this is a recent turn, and there is still that racism. I make ginger jokes, even though I think it's beautiful. There is sort of still a ginger hate going on, and yeah. So there is a link between, I'm not saying that it's unionized, but there is a link between the African and the Irishman, woman, people, and there's an expression that I don't, as a white person, feel comfortable saying, even though my friend calls me a pussy, but it goes, Irish are just ends turned inside out. And this also has to do with demeanor. The Irish are outspoken. I mean, I'm stereotyping here, but tend to be outspoken and tend to be kind of like a warriors people, and tend to have a really like just brazen humor and a soulful nature, full of art, and they do melancholia really well on terms of coming out with art, and this is similar actually to um, Africans probably having to do with a similar oppression. So anyway, just realize that if we're really going to break it down, I couldn't use this term in a racist way without also hurting myself. So no, I'm not coming from a racist place and using it. I really do think everybody's a monkey. We are. But no, it didn't have that connotation in saying it, and I couldn't say it to anyone else without also knowing the history of how that would hurt myself and ancestry.